There's a very, very powerful day that's coming up. You may or may not have heard of this day. It's called Pesach Sheni. Anybody heard of Pesach Sheni? The Second Passover. It's an exceptionally powerful day. It's beginning tonight. And it's going to be a 24-hour period of very, very major energy coming down from heaven that we're able to tap into. And if you can utilize this energy, you could do a tremendous amount of good for your life and for your destiny in this world. What are the origins of this day? The origins of this day come from the Torah. And I'm going to read you the account of what this day is, and then Mirza Hashem will learn a little bit of Zohar about this day and some of the symbolic energy of this day. One of the things that people generally know about Pesach Sheni, the second Pesach, is that all of a sudden you'll come into yeshiva tomorrow and all sorts of people will be eating matzah. You go, what's with the matzah? Pesach Sheni, didn't hear? So the energy of the day, yes, has to do with eating matzah. It has to do with those who are not able to bring the original Passover offering get another opportunity. Let me read you the verses in the Torah, in Parshas Ba'aloscha, beginning in chapter 9, we say Tes Aleph. So this is the journey of the Jews going through the wilderness, and look what happens. Just pay attention a little bit to the verses. And Hashem is speaking to Moshe in the Midbar Sinai, in the second year that the Jews left the land of Egypt, in the first month, Nisan, and that the Jews should make the Korban Pesach. The Korban Pesach was an offering, was a lamb that we would bring, and we would eat it. Everyone had a Passover Seder this year? Yes, everybody was by a Passover Seder? Did we have a Corban Pesach? No, we did not have a Korban Pesach. We wish we did, but when Mashiach comes, we will have the Korban Pesach. We don't currently have the Korban Pesach, but you'll notice there's a shank bone on your Seder plate that reminds you of the Korban Pesach. And the Korban Pesach is an offering that we bring on the 14th day of Nisan. And it's an offering that we bring that's a very, very powerful symbolic experience. You bring it with a group. It's a family offering. You have to be part of the group to offer it. You can't break any bones. You have to be in the home. It's a unifying idea. While they're shechting, everybody's singing Hallel. It's a very festive experience. You eat it here in Yerushalayim, the holy city of Yerushalayim. It's a very messianic idea, the Korban Pesach. So here in the Midbar, every single year on the 14th day of Nisan, we would bring this offering. So this is the Torah talking about this offering. And it says on the 14th day, bring this offering. By the way, the lamb was significant because what did the lamb represent in Egypt?
Idols, heirs.
The lamb was their idol. They worshipped it. So you could imagine that that was a bit of a challenging experience when they watched their idol being shechted. Right? It was tied on the 10th day of Nisan, that was Shabbos HaGadol. And then it was observed that it didn't have any blemishes for 4 days. And then on the 14th day, it was shechted. And the Mitzrim saw that, and their teeth fell out. It's a whole very intense experience that they watched, that they put so much belief in finiteness, and that one of the messages of the Korban Pesach is that all finiteness is coming from the infinite, from God. Don't worship finite. Only worship the infinite, Hashem. So the Korban Pesach was brought, And Moshe Rabbeinu is telling everybody now to bring the Pesach. And they make the Pesach. Oh, that tea smells amazing. Hashem, unbelievable. Yeah. You don't put any cinnamon with your Korban Pesach. Okay? And bring the Korban Pesach. Now, something happened. Something happened. There's a rule that if you're impure, are you allowed to bring your Korban Pesach? No, you're not allowed to bring the Korban Pesach. And by the way, not bringing the Korban Pesach is severe. There's two mitzvahs that are due mitzvahs that if a person doesn't do them, it leads to, it's called kares, which means something not so pleasant. It's a spiritual cutting off. What are the two due mitzvahs that a person doesn't do those mitzvahs? It leads to this spiritual cutting off. I'll first tell you there's many don't do mitzvahs that if a person transgresses, God forbid, leads to that. Like breaking Shabbos is kares. Eating chametz on Pesach, like the severe stuff, nida. But there's only two do mitzvahs that if you just sit there like this, I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just not actively doing something positive. You know what the two do mitzvahs are? Corban Pesach. Anybody know the second one? Bris Milah. That's right. That's why the Jewish people, this is a very important mitzvah, Bris Milah. And there's many, many reasons for Bris Milah. So you need to have a bris also to be able to eat the Korban Pesach. You're not even eligible to eat the Korban Pesach without having a bris. So I just had a bris right before Pesach this year. So, meaning it was like mamish right before Pesach. So I told, like, now the boy's 8 days old. So I told the father, yeah, Baruch Hashem, Mashiach's going to come. Korban Pesach, he's eligible. You know, he's ready to go. It's not so easy for an 8-day-old to have a Korban Pesach, but he's in the fold. He's eligible now. Is that the bris and Korban Pesach are very, very deeply rooted concepts for the Jew. But something very, very challenging happened. If a person is impure, in other words, he touched a dead body, he's not allowed to eat the Korban Pesach. He has to go through a 7-day period of purification, which includes the red heifer. That's why everyone's getting all pumped up about the red heifer. And there's always, we've got sleeper cells, Chabad, shluchim, in any location. If they get word that somebody says, like down in Kentucky, that we think, we found like a red heifer, so we'll send a delegation. Can we see the red heifer? Can we talk about it? Can we buy it from you? It's a cow that's entirely red. And there's a lot of details of what's needed that cow has to be literally entirely red, cannot have even a number of white hairs. It can't be like, the whole thing's red, but there's like 5 or 6 like white hairs. The entire thing. The cow cannot have been ridden on. It cannot have been worked. There's a lot of details that disqualifies. There's only been 9 in the history of the world. And that red heifer is used in a purification process. The 10th red heifer will be the red heifer of Mashiach. Mamish. So we're pumped up. Good days are coming, my friends. Okay? And there's sightings. I think one just was brought to Eretz Yisrael.
Shiva.
Yeah, that's where it is. So red heifers we're on the lookout for red heifers, and we'll pay money. Like I'm saying, like cash, Bitcoin, whatever. We'll pay for red heifers to make sure that we'll pay good money for it. I mean, a farmer, he'd be happy to accept a lot of money. For him, it's just a cow. But for us, this is like serious opportunity that allows us to purify against death, the impurity of death. But that being said, notwithstanding the fact that you have a red heifer, you still need 7 days of purification. What happens if on the day that you have to bring the Korban Pesach, the 14th day of Nisan, somebody is impure? He goes to a cemetery, He touches a dead body. Is he eligible to offer the Korban Pesach? No. No. So the Torah says, this is recorded in the Torah, Vayihi anoshim asher hayu tameim lenefesh adam. There were men that came to Moshe that were impure. It's 14th day of Nisan. They come to Moshe, they're impure. The Gemara, the oral tradition, gives different examples of who these people were. Either they were the ones that were carrying the bones of Yosef out of Egypt, and they were still carrying it during that time, and therefore they were in contact with dead body material. They were not able to be pure for that time. Another opinion is, anybody know? Mishal and Azal Safan, who were dealing with the bodies of, anybody know? Aaron's sons, Nadav and Avihu. Nadav and Avihu, who had went in on the first day of Nisan, 2 weeks prior. They went into the Holy of Holies with a fire pan, with an Eish Zara, with a foreign fire. And there's a big discussion what exactly that was, that Hashem did not ask them to. Maybe they came in, maybe they were drinking. Maybe they came in, many understandings what's really going on with that story. But in either case, they passed away. And they were dealing with the bodies. That being said, they were impure. Or maybe somebody else who was doing what's called a mace mitzvah, that you have to go. If nobody else is there to bury the dead, that you have a mitzvah to go and make sure that you do it. It's called a mace mitzvah. Very, very important. So they come to Moshe Rabbeinu, and they say the following. They say, Moshe Rabbeinu, we are impure, and therefore, we're not able to bring the Pesach today. They came before Moshe and Aaron to tell them this. And they said, we are impure. And then they said two words that is essentially the energetic vibe of the entire day tomorrow, beginning tonight, going until really the nighttime of tomorrow. The main energy of Pesach Sheni begins tomorrow at noon, halachic noon, like 12:40, until midnight, halachic midnight, tomorrow night. There's 12 hours of very powerful energy coming into the world for you to achieve unbelievable things, which we'll talk more about tomorrow, what you can achieve on Pesach Sheni, because we'll actually be learning together during that 12-hour window where the heavens open up, and we'll learn a Zohar, Mitzvah Shem, that talks about that energy. The entire energy is based on these two words that I'm about to say right now. Lama nigara. Why should we be any worse? Why should we miss out? So the simple answer is you're impure. You know, there's rules. You can't bring the Pesach Sheni, like you're impure. You can't just make up whatever you want. You know, the Torah says that there's a formula here. You're impure. What was their response? But we're doing a mitzvah. But we were doing good things. So why should we miss out? We were doing mitzvah, we were doing the right thing. Why should we miss out? They really wanted to bring the Corban Pesach. Sometimes you feel in life like you missed out. I should have, I could have, I want to. And you have this feeling, lama nigara. Why should I miss out? Why should I be any worse? Why didn't I have that opportunity? And let's say it's coming from a pure good place. I want this up. I want to be able to have this opportunity. Many people come to yeshiva later in life, and they see, like, you know, the rabbi's kids are all like whizzing past them, learning Gemara, like, you know, this tal, and they're like finishing everything, and this guy's just trying to say aleph beis. He's just trying to pronounce, like, you know, a pasuk in the Chumash, and he looks at this kid, he could say the whole Torah by heart, and he has a little feeling like Loma Nigara. Why am I missing out? I didn't know this. I only came to yeshiva after 30 years. Why should I be any worse? Why should I miss out? Just because I didn't grow up in a house like this? That I didn't know? I don't know how to make kiddush. I don't know how to make havdalah. I could barely read. Why should I be any worse, Hashem? Why should I miss out? Lama nigara lebilti hikrev Corban Hashem b'mayadai. Why shouldn't we, Moshe, also be able to bring the Korban Pesach? V'teich b'nei Yisrael. And look at Moshe responds. Yomer aleim Moshe. And Moshe says to them, Imdu, wait here. Ve'eshma ma yitzave Hashem lachem. Just wait here. I'm going to talk to God, the creator of heaven and earth. I'm going to see what he has to say about this. You see from here also, the Rambam points this out. Nobody had the prophecy of Moshe Rabbeinu. Very important to know this. That's why no prophet could come later and usurp the prophecy of Moshe. I mean, no prophet from any religion, and come and usurp Moshe Rabbeinu's prophecy. His prophecy was unique. And we have a national revelation that all of the nations saw the uniqueness of his prophecy. That his prophecy was unique, that he could talk to God anytime he wanted. And that Hashem told him that your prophecy will be eternal. It will never be usurped. Nobody could come later and claim, Moshe Rabbeinu, I could usurp his prophecy. Which, by the way, and I want to do a series on this later, because there's a lot of, I think, confusion in the world. What makes a Jew? Who are the Jews? People are claiming all the time now that, anybody could be a Jew. I want to talk about what it means to be a Jew, because that's very important that we own what that means. And the most fundamental of what it means is that there's 13 core beliefs of a Jew. Core beliefs. A person can't stand up one day and just say, oh, I'm a Jew. Do you share these 13 core beliefs? Is your mother Jewish? This is part of being part of a family, and we'll talk about this. The 13 core beliefs, one of those core beliefs, there's many of them, the essential part of it is that God is one, and that God interacts with the creation, and that God has a system of punishment and reward. Those are the 13 beliefs put into 3 core ideas, which is something that we'll talk about, we'll go into. God is real, and He's one. God interacts with creation, and that God is set up a system of free will, where your actions actually mean something. That's the 3 core beliefs. Within that, it's 13 core beliefs. The core belief of God communicating is that Moses, his prophecy is unique. That's core belief. That Moses' prophecy is unique, and here the Torah says, I'm just going to ask God what he says. I'm starting to use such language to Moshe Rabbeinu, who's the greatest of all, but that's very boss. And nobody can say, let me just ask the Lord what he has to say, I have an answer, That he actually did. It's for real. This is in the Torah. You want to talk about authenticity of Torah? We'll have a long conversation. We'll have a whole discovery experience of the authenticity of the Torah. So the Torah is pointing out, Moshe Rabbeinu says, wait here, I will see what God says. And then the Torah has a space, which always indicates that there's something cooking. It's a modern day terminology the Olam uses. Something's cooking. And then response. Okay? This is big stuff. V'yedaber Hashem el Moshe lemor. And then now God says to Moshe, which means Moshe says, wait here. I know you're tameh. I know you want to bring the Korban Pesach. Just wait. I know you feel like you missed out. And that very sincere, pure feeling of you want to be close to God. Let me speak to Hashem. And they're just waiting. That space is now Moshe Rabbeinu having this unbelievable prophetic communication with Hashem. And then there's a response. What's the response? Daber al b'nei Yisrael. Go speak to the Jewish people. And what's amazing about this is the response is that these people, these Jews, through their deep, pure, sincere desire, create a new section of the Torah, which would have never existed otherwise. An amazing, amazing thing. That Torah shebechsav, which is usually in all places, there's another place of the daughters of Tzlafchad, the Bnei Tzlafchad, where the desire, the pure desire, for them, they loved the land of Israel, and the Torah adds a special section where those daughters inherit a portion of the land because of just a desire, a pure desire to be close to Hashem. So too here, a pure, piercing desire to be close to God. Hashem responds and says, anybody, ish, ki yetameh lenefesh, he's impure, oy bederech rechoika, or he's just far away. He didn't make it to Yerushalayim. Sometimes we all feel a bit far away. You're far away from getting the job done. Lochem oy ledoyrei seichem, you or for all eternity, including today. Asa Pesach Lashem, you're going to also have your own Pesach. A new Pesach. Another Pesach. I thought there was only one Pesach. Not until now there's something called Pesach Sheni. A second Pesach. B'chodesh HaSheni. That's this month. The month of Iyar is the second month. B'chodesh HaSheni. You know when? Ba'arba asar yom. On the 14th day. You know when that is? It's beginning tonight. On the 14th day. Ben Arbaim. The spiritual download beginning noon tomorrow. For 12-hour period. Yasu oisai. You're going to be able to make the Pesach. And what should you do? You should do it with what? Al matzais umaroirim yochlu. You should bring the Pesach and have it with matzah and more. Mamish like Pesach. You're going to have another Pesach. Are you allowed to have chametz with it? No. But you could have chametz in your house. But not while you're eating the Pesach. It has to be with matzah and more. And this becomes what they call a second chance. All of Pesach Sheni is the secret of the second chance. Is if a person thought, I'm far, I'm impure, I missed my opportunity, the pure desire of these Yidden, yearning, saying, Hashem, we need another opportunity. Lama nigara, why should we be any worse? Why should we miss out on an opportunity to be close to you, Hashem? And Moshe Rabbeinu speaks to God, and God says, you're in. You're in. Pesach Sheni. Another Pesach. A second chance. Tomorrow, and we're going to go more, I would say more the Sfarim, the Kabbalah of what tomorrow really represents tomorrow. You can bring matzah if you want tomorrow. We can all have some matzah tomorrow. We can be lebedik in here. Okay? Because that'll be mamish during the window. That during this time, we're going to be able to appreciate that there's a second chance, that there's always a second chance. And the Sfarim point out this is already hinted to in the beginning of the Torah. What's the first word of the Torah? Bereshis. What's Bereshis? Beis Rashis. Beis means two. Rashis means beginnings. Beis Rashis. There's always a second beginning. There's another beginning. You can always begin again now. Pesach Sheni is the time that teaches you, wherever you're up to, Lama Nigara, you can create new Torah Shebechsav, so to speak. You can birth new ideas into the world by saying, I want to be better, I want another opportunity. Lama nigara. Bereshus, Beis Reshus. There's always another opportunity to begin. Another opportunity. So with the help of Hashem, my dear friends, we're going into, I would say, a more meditative experience tomorrow. Try to tap in to the powers of Pesach Sheni. We'll go deeper into what's really happening during this time. Why this time is also the beginning of the week of Hod. As we go through Sfiras HaOmer, we're beginning the week of Hod. What that means. Why Pesach Sheni is the first day of Hod. And why the week of Hod also includes Lag BaOmer, which is Hod Shebahod. A very, very big week. A week that includes exceptional, great secrets. There were people that did not say Tachanun the entire week of Hod. There was so much energy coming down into the world during this week, starting from Pesach Sheni, starting from tonight, and getting very, very powerful for 12 hours tomorrow. We should be Zoich, my dear friends, to bring once again the Korban Pesach, to once again have the Beis HaMikdash, to be celebrating together with the Matzah and the Mar and the Korban Pesach, with the Kibbutz Goliath. B'mehera v'yameinu, amen. Have a wonderful day, my friends. Kol Tuv.